been nearly 3 months since a tornado ripped through Abilene, destroying lives and property. Candidate Beto O'Rourke said he was going after people's AR-15s. We're still working to get details for you at this hour, but here's what we know so far. Police obtaining a warrant in connection to that murder investigation. For a dog that wasn't trained, Rambo really came through here, helping his owner get to the porch and alerting his wife. Lawmakers are under intense pressure to act in the wake of several mass shootings. There was only talk about unification of these two cities. Getting a security camera is one of the best investments a family can make. There's no guarantee it will stop someone from breaking in. Water bottles or soda bottles that could easily have been recycled. Just today, a new set of gun laws takes effect here in the state of Texas. Those laws actually loosening restriction on gun ownership. Proponents argue that they will offer people the opportunity to protect themselves, while critics say these changes make people less safe. At a press conference earlier today in Odessa, Governor Greg Abbott defended the new laws and the right to bear arms, while still admitting that a problem needs to be solved.
We need solutions that will.
At that vigil that ended just a few hours ago, there was no mention of any dividing issue. There was only talk about unification of these two cities, Midland, Odessa, that this mass shooting this time around involved men in uniform, 3 of them, and the city so grateful, saying that their professionalism is not going unnoticed. They're being called true heroes here in Midland, Odessa. People right now assessing the damage in their areas, going out to their yards. South 7th, a lot of areas hit. You know, you might be tempted to go see what damage there is. Not a good idea. You're going to be getting an emergency worker's way. We've been telling you all morning, if you're just joining us now, the city of Abilene has been working to draft a disaster declaration, specifically for the area stretching from Corsicana to Willis, Hartford to South 14th. The extent of the work ahead even more apparent when you see that damage from up above. New at 10, K-Texas anchor Will Jensen gives us an aerial tour of one of the hardest areas hit in Abilene. Another part of town that was hit hard by the tornadoes, South 2nd and Willis. People there tonight are trying to clean up the mess following this morning's high winds and rain. Trees fell on cars and homes. Many roofs literally were torn off of houses. Some businesses in the area also saw damage.
Whatever this was, tornado action activity.
There was one injury on South 2nd Street. A man was treated and released from the hospital, thankfully, after his small cabin blew over. He suffered head and back injuries. Abilene Mayor Anthony Williams signed a disaster declaration. Governor Greg Abbott also making all state resources available. Yeah, now the Abilene freshman is on a bigger mission. She's focused on getting people on board with her push to reinstate Abilene's recycling program. Vicky Gao isn't your typical teenager.
For our children's futures and for our grandchildren's futures.
On a school night recently, she helped organize a climate march at Abilene City Hall. It was held just ahead of the UN Climate Summit this week. While massive crowds gathered in metropolitan cities around the world, Gao's march was small, just a few people. Still, their message was just as passionate.
We're marching in hope so that people will open their minds and understand that we have been given this beautiful, awe-inspiring paradise.
Abilene, like many cities in the U.S., are facing a crisis when it comes to recycling. The key city abruptly stopped taking plastic and glass late in the summer.
Well, it's not the city's fault, but I feel like we can find potential buyers for that company that won't accept plastic recycling anymore.
The problem is that recycling used to be considered a money-making business. That's no longer the case. It's mainly due to China. The Chinese implemented stricter regulations and stopped accepting dirty recyclables, anything with liquid or labels that jam the recycling process. Companies like Texas Metals and Recycling in Abilene have no one to sell it to without the Chinese buying. What's happening is instead we're throwing away plastics that could be recycled just by going through your trash can at home or your place of work like I am now. You're going to find Water bottles or soda bottles that could easily have been recycled. Food containers, these are going to end up in a landfill when they could have been recycled. Though this Abilene freshman is determined to find a solution.
What do we march for? Climate justice!
She's taking it one step at a time.